Race number 9 out of 22 in season 2 of the mainstream racing series. Wednesday evening. Good evening and welcome to our second season, and we are heading strongly into towards the midway mark of the season. First third is already behind us. We are in the middle third of the season, and in 2 weeks we will already hit the midway mark. So time flies in 2021 just as much as in the last years, and so we have come here to the Kingdom of Bahrain for this midway season race. First look, as always, how do we do? How do we race? We will see a 18 minutes qualifying followed by a 50% race distance. What is, I think, 28, 29 laps on this track. Equal car performances, of course, full damage, full rules, flags, safety car, VSC, all of that is on. Dynamic weather, but that will not be a topic here tonight in the desert. We see regular corner cutting, not the strict version, as we do not want our races to be decided by penalty seconds. This is the short overview of the track. 15 turns, 5.5 kilometers of length, and the lap record still dating back to Pedro de la Rosa in 2005. I think it was in a McLaren when he hit it, but yeah, our drivers will vaporize that time by multiple seconds tonight. I am pretty sure about that. The track difficulty is set to easy. Well, generally, yeah, okay, I back this up, as there is more or less no gravel, no grass. The track allows quite some mistakes, but the track also has one of the, or maybe the most difficult braking zone, that are turns 8 and 9, very vicious and hard to take, and we will see a lot of locked front left tires in this section, but about that we will talk about later a bit further. The assists how we race, you can have the anti-lock brakes on, and that is very necessary for this turn 8 and 9 here tonight. Medium traction control, gearbox has to be manual. Likewise, the pit assist and pit release assist, so you have to watch the pace when coming into the pit lane, and that is quite tricky here in Bahrain, as the pit lane entry is in on the verge of the main straight, so yeah, you have to be very patient when lifting your foot off the acceleration. So the session timer is ticking down, and we are about to head to Sakir, Bahrain. So Sakir, Bahrain was, I think, the third night race. So the first one was Singapore, Abu Dhabi shortly followed it, and third then Bahrain. And this is very necessary because the temperature during days in the heat of the desert is really vicious. So it was rather a good idea to put the rain into night hours. First comment in our chat box here tonight from the Mondi, that's Andrew Mond, race driver's nickname by Monster. and he said it's going to be rainy. Yeah, of course. This is a little joke to our last week's broadcast, and because we had rain in Mexico and it was totally rain-soaked, and I have almost never seen a complete rain weather race, and yeah, it was a bit ironic that it had to be in Mexico, in a place where actually you just do not expect a rain to be 100% wet. And I said, if we should have another rainy race here in Bahrain, I would do a shoey, just like our reigning champion Dominic Walsh did when he won the championship. And yeah, that's why Andrew Mond is trying to joke around, fool me a little bit, telling me that it's gonna be rainy in Bahrain, but I just don't believe it. So, who was the first one on an outlap? There is Andrew Mond. Maybe it was him. Yes, it was him. No, it wasn't. There is a Williams ahead of him. That's got to be Blake Gary then. This is the first one who moved out of the pit lane. Little tradition of mine to stay with the first one who moves out of the garage to ride on board with, to show and get a bit of a feel for the track that we will host here tonight. And second comment in the chat box: good evenings, the Sly Dog Racing League. Thanks for your wishes. I was watching you on Monday, as you probably know. And Sly Dog races on Monday evening. Two of our MRS race drivers, Leonard Cam and Lawson, are in there too. And yeah, I watched them. They had pretty chaotic rain race in Canada. And yeah, all of that we will not have tonight, at least not rain. I still don't believe Andrew Mond. So let's get into the first hot lap of our second Williams of Blake Gary. Here's the long main straight, pit lane right hand side, down to turn 1, 2, 3. That's all one combination. And got to be a little bit patient here on the accelerator. On the right hand side, the accident scene of Romain Grosjean into turn 4 that has caused so much discussion because of track limits right here. Blake Gary is following our overall leader, Peter Zimo Simpson. That's one of our top picks we have to talk about tonight later too. And here we come now into the vicious combination of 8 and 9. Next one is 8, then 9. And the car is very light here. You have to hit the apex. Blake Gary did that not. So already the first time we see why this combination is so difficult. And then turn 10 up the hill and around some big rock here on the right hand side, rock and some palms, into this is already the penultimate turn, taking a bit of curb there, but the track allows it. And the last turn 15, a bit similar to Austria, and this is a lap in Zakir, Bahrain, and Blake Gary did it in a 1 minute 27.1. So just he has already blasted the Pedro de la Rosa time by 3 point something seconds. And his lap time wasn't that bad. Oh, Lawson had a problem. Lawson is already out. And he crashed. He did crash. Let's see. Stefan Williams, it is not. There was a Haas nearby. Somewhere here, we see the yellow flag. Somewhere here was the crashed Red Bull. Oh, that's not good. That is not good. I suppose that he got too much of curb on, what is it, turn 12 or 13 then. And if you hit the inside curb there, you easily lose the car and spin off the track. And that probably happened to him. And So he crashed into the wall somewhere. The walls aren't that close, but yeah, it is possible to find some walls. And that maybe was what happened to our host. So David Lawson now has 12 or a bit more minutes time to have a relaxed preparation for his race. Meanwhile, we watch Leclerc 1090. This is not Charlie Leclerc. This is sadly not Arthur Leclerc. This is a new driver by the name, I have had to write it down, by the name of Akhil Bandapelli. I hope I pronounced it correctly. From India. So MRS really goes on being totally international. We had drivers from almost every continent now, maybe just Australia and Oceania missing, but all the other continents should be covered by now. And let's see where the second Haas driver will land after his first hot lap. It is a 128.1. Yeah, somewhere around the yellow runners, but not that competitive on softs. But still 11.5 minutes left to improve that. So what else is going on? Peter Simpson, meanwhile, has posted a lap time, and what it was. 126.6, almost 3 tenths behind Stefan Williams, but on mediums, on the slower tire, he is almost faster than almost everyone else who ran on softs. That is already a big statement from him. And this brings me right to the next topic I want to talk about while we have a look at the Williams of K-Delay. That's Kantan. So the next topic, our overall standings. We have seen the first 4 races being really totally dominated by K-Delay, Kantan. He didn't win it all, but he was on the podium on every of those 4 first races. And it looked like he would run away very, very easily, very, very early with the championship lead. But then, he had one bad race, followed by moving to a new flat, what made him miss 2 races. The race when he returned, he DNF'd, so the last 4 races were totally dominated by Peter Simpson, who has managed to finish 5 of 8 races, but all of those 5 he did win. So that gives Peter Simpson the lead in our overall standings with a rather comfortable cushion already to ride this guy, Kantan. Tan is 35 points behind Peter Simpson right now and is level on points with Thomas Walsh. Tom Walsh sits in 3rd in our overall standings. That's the same place where he finished the last season, and right now is on P6 in this qualifying. But for the moment, now let's have a look what Kantan is doing at the end of Sector 1. 27.1 I think it was. That's okay for the first. No, 27.7 it was. Here in Sector 2, where it's hard to find time, but very easy to lose time. And here we are on board with him on the TV pod. He might get some traffic ahead. That's Martin Ward. Almost got his Red Bull out of the way. This might have costed a little bit for Kantan. At least it was very unpleasant there right at the end of Sector 2. Sector 3 is actually just 2 straights plus this one turn. And his His first hot lap is a good one. 125.9. Wow, very well. Very good lap time from Kantan. The only one who was able to push the limit under the 126 mark. And meanwhile, another one, Andrew Mont, the driver who was trying to fool me about the weather forecast, has pushed up into second. Quite a good lap time from him too, just 4/10 behind Tan. Stefan Williams in third, and Simo has mounted soft. So the time you see from Simo is not on a soft tire. The Simo time was posted on a medium. And now Peter Simpson is on an out lap. Oh, Nevis Ikic. Hot lap. Really hot lap. And to the lead, it's the driver by the name of Nevis Ikic pulling up and into P2, just 1/10 behind Kantan. What else did we miss thus far? Dominic Walsh, reigning champion, sitting in 11th right now with his medium tire posted time. Oh, Ryan Price, the next one. Ryan Price, another little bit of surprise. Sir Price, pushing into third with 2/10 almost of gap to Kantan. And another one, Jack Rognan. Jack Rognan, the... what is he? Is he first? Is he second Ferrari? New pole Saturn, Simixna. 125.7, but all that might be vaporized from him. The man in the black and yellow Renault car, Peter Simpson. Let's stay with him here for his second hot lap. He is 8/10 now behind Rognan, but I mentioned it, his time was posted on mediums, so there should be a lot of improvement possible for him in theory. He is already over 4/10 faster here, just in sector 1. Let's ride on board with him here during turn 8 and 9. Very smoothly, very smoothly driving. Clean driving from Peter Simpson. He runs without assist. So he is a driver who told me that he has never ever played a Formula 1 game on a gamepad. He is totally used to playing it on wheel and pedals, and he is exactly 1 second faster than he was in his formerly posted lap time. And yeah, the fact that he has a quality rig and wheel and pedals gives him the possibility to run without assists and do it very smoothly and get the 100% power delivered onto the track, and he is back into the pole, improving his time by 1.3 seconds, 125.3 up and into the pole position. But when we have a look at the clock time, that is already the end of Peter Simpson's quali lap. So he used the time when the quali took a little bit of a breather while he takes a very bumpy and unique way back to his pit crew. And yeah, so I suppose Simo is already finished. I doubt that he will have enough of time to return to his pit crew, get some fresh tire and get out on track again. So while everyone else was sitting in the garage, they watched Simo either in the game or here with me on the stream. And yeah, so everyone will have another hot lap shot now in the final 3.5 minutes. And Simo, let's stay with him still for the moment and see when he will return to his pit, and if he might be able to go out again. It could be possible Could be possible. Let's see what he will do. So he is back into the pits. We see, I think, no one who is really on a hot lap. Now, no one. Now one is. This is Stefan Williams. In the first half, he was the pole setter for a few minutes in the very early phase of the quali. Let's see where he will land after the second hot lap. Level in sector 1. No improvement for him. It's very close where he's sitting, so just 2/10 of improvement would push him ahead by 2 starting rows or so. Here on the back straight, right behind the pit lane. Third DRS zone, that will deliver a lot of overtake action in the race. Oh, and he has spun. I don't know if he spun or if the Williams around him was involved somehow. Who was that? Kantan, it was not. Then it has to be Blake Gary. While we see Caruso is out. The Rockstar already out of his car. Finished for the quali. Yeah, likewise is Stefan Williams. No improvement for him, maximally in P8. What is Jack Rocknan doing? Let's have a look at the fight for the pole position. Rocknan overtaking his teammate Jarne Vanderbilt, who is on an outlap. Vanderbilt only in P17. Wow, that's really not a good position for him. And Rocknan was improving in the first sector by 1.5 tenths. That's not bad, but wouldn't bring him anywhere. I was talking to Rocknan just this afternoon, and he said that he feels good. He feels on the right improvement wave. He's riding the right wave at the moment, getting faster and faster, and he wants to close the gap to Peter Simpson. Let's see if he can do it. Maybe already now in the quali, but he cannot. He lost over 3/10 there in the intermediate sector. And that should be it. That should be it for him. Let's see what Kantan is doing. Little bit of improvement in sector 1, 2/10. So that might be enough, if you can build on it a little bit, to jump ahead of Rocknan up and into the front starting row. Rocknan, by the way, finished now. The end of sector 2 for Kantan coming up right here. And wow, big improvement for him. Almost 6/10 his improvement. But Simo is on a hot lap again. I don't know how, but he managed to get a fresh set of tire and get out on track in the very, very last moment. Kantan, can Kantan jump into the pole position for a moment? Can he not? He cannot. He jumps ahead of Rocknan, but not ahead of Simpson. What is he doing? Nothing. Does not look like Simo could improve again. So who else is maybe still running? There is Nevis Ikic, who is in a very good 5th position for him right now at the moment. He is finished. No improvement for Ikic. What is Monster doing? Andrew Mont, who was pole setter for... how long was it? Half a minute or so. But it looks like he is not on an improvement lap. No, he is not. He lost time riding on some curb somewhere. Thomas Walsh. What are the Walshes doing? The Walsh brothers. Last turn for Tom Walsh. This should be an improvement for him. Where will he start? Up into... oh, only P14. That is disappointing for the first Walshes. Where is the other? Where's the other? Dominic Walsh. In P3. Late jump ahead from his brother Dominic Walsh, the reigning champion. Up and into P3. Martin Ward on a hot lap, but no, he is not. He aborts it. And Seymour is already back to his pit. So that should be it. That should be it for this qualifying. Congratulations to Peter Simpson once again, who is the pole king of MRS. The fastest driver on one lap, but not, at least not in the last season, not the cleanest on a whole race. Let's have a look at the starting grid. We see Peter Simpson in first, followed by his big rival for the championship, Khan. In third, the reigning champion, Dominic Walsh. Fourth, Jack Rognian. Nevis Ikic in 5. 6 for Ryan Price. 7, Mike Taylor. 8 is Ricky Kuau. P9, Grimo Goodman. P10, Jarne van der Brill. P11, Stuart McDonald in the car of Leonard Cam. P12 for Andrew Mont. 13, Stefan Williams. 14, Sam Clark, Captain Infinity. 15 is Thomas Walsh. Only 16 then Rockstar Caruso. Very disappointing for those two boys. P17, our newcomer, that's, I have to look it up again, Akhil Bandapelli. P18, Blake Gary, and 19 and 20, the last starting row to the Red Bulls for Martin Ward and David Lawson. So our drivers have half a minute or a little bit more of time to think about their strategy and get some minor setup changes done and loaded into the game. I will step aside for a moment and will be right back with you. So here we are in our installation lab, or parade lab as it was called in earlier times. And first look goes out to the weather. Okay, that's rather safe to say. And second, for the tires used for the early phase of the race. The top 10 has to start on the set of tire they have qualified on, and from P11 and beyond everyone has free choice of tire. And very interesting, because from P11 onwards there is just one who starts on softs. That's the Haas of Stefan Williams. The majority of drivers has opted for mediums. Leonard Cam, Monster, Infinity, Tom Walsh, Rockstar, Leclerc, Gary, and Mercyman. And only one, that is David Lawson, our host, who's starting in last position, has opted for hards. While we talk about it, here we see the tire strategy presented by the Amazon Web Services. And yeah, I think that a one-stop strategy is a lot faster and better. But you cannot run on one-stop if you have to start on softs. That's the big disadvantage for the top 10 plus Williams. Except if there is a safety car phase in the middle of the race. Peter Simpson has rushed through his parade lap. The last drivers just come off the back straight. There he is already taking to his starting box. And just before our drivers line up, as we have some special guests here again tonight for this race. Herzlich willkommen auch an alle deutschen Zuschauer und ich hoffe, dass es euch genauso viel Spaß macht wie die letzten Male und wünsche uns allen einen richtig coolen Abend mit dem Rennen in Bahrain. So let's scoot through the field a bit. Here we are already in the midfield. Jarne van der Brill only in P10. That's a little bit of disappointing for him, I would like to assume, as far as I know him. And the starting grid, I think, has formed up. Yes, here we are. The 5 red lights are on. And Green light, off we go in Bahrain. Good start for Simpson and Kantan, both more or less simultaneously up and into turn 1, and behind there's Nevis Ikic. Good start from Ikic, almost attacking Kantan, and there's Rognan and Ikic wheel to wheel into turn 4. In the background everything went rather smoothly, didn't see any big issue. Rognan ahead of Ikic. And in the background, let's browse through the field a little bit and see if there has anything big happened, but it looked very, very clean. Backed up due to the fact, of course, that you can run wide in order to avoid a collision. We see, who's that? I think it's Monster, Andrew Mont, who's lacking an end plate on his front wing. The Alpha Tauri of Monster damaged, and a McLaren, who is it? Got to be Captain Infinity, Sam Clark. Monster and Infinity with front wing damage, but I think that's all that I saw. Who had some troubles in turn 1. And we see Tom Walsh in his pink Racing Point in a bit of troubles there against Caruso and Blake Gary maybe. And the two Red Bulls in the very back Lawson has front wing damage. That is very, very sad for him, because he only has one set of hearts. He started on the hearts and now will maybe need a pit stop early, so he wasted his set of hearts. We see pit stops from Stefan Williams too. I did not see that, but obviously obviously there is front wing damage. New nose for the Welsh driver, and fresh, what is it, yellow, red to yellow. Behind there's the McLaren of Sam Clark, who will who will go on hard tires. Let's have a look at the tire situation. Please do not get confused about the table. That's always happening in lap 2. As soon as we are in the next lap, the table is going to be correct again. So Peter Simpson is not in third. Peter Simpson is actually leading the race, and right behind him is Dominic Walsh. Good start from Dominic Walsh, who pushed up and into, I think it was third, very late in the qualifying, and then had a good start to his race. We see some yellow in sector 2, now sector 3. Who was it? Maybe Andrew Mont. Looked like Monster was next to the track. Not a good race for the Monster, who had a good start to the session in his quali, but then everything afterwards went rather not his way. He needs another pit stop. And right in front of him is Nevis Ikic. Nevis Ikic, who had such a good quali too and ruined it already in lap 3. New nose for the Monster. Fresh soft. Wow, interesting. Aggressive middle stint from Mont to maybe make up a little bit of ground. Ahead of him, Ikic on hards, so Monster should be a lot faster than Ikic very soon. DRS, by the way, is activated meanwhile. But this is not a problem for this guy, not a problem for Simo, as he is almost 1.5 seconds away from Dominic Walsh. So Walsh, there he is, will not be allowed to open the rear wing on 3 straights. Likewise to check Rognan, too far away to attack Walsh, and too far away either is Ryan Price. But here we see Ricky Kuao, aggressive wheel to wheel into the last turn. This has not been a DRS zone yet. The first DRS zone is coming up right here, and Kuao should be able to activate. Yes, the Renault is split, and therefore he will be up to 20 kilometers per hour faster than Ryan Price. And he pushed ahead and maybe was the first DRS overtake in this race. Ryan Price tries to Stay close. Maybe the counter. Now DRS activated for Price. Nope. Not yet. Not yet, but maybe soon. Yellow in sector 1. That's behind us here. Oh, Blake Gary. Was it Gary? Gary lost some places. Maybe he spun. He caused the yellow. Maybe. So here we are in a front midfield fighting group. This is the battle for P4 indirectly. Jarne Vandenbroek under attack from Mike Taylor. Taylor taking the wide lane. Tag here, wheel to wheel into turn 12. And there was, who is it? Some yellow in sector 1. I think it was Nevis Ekic who spun at the end of turn 3, where Nikita Marzipin spun just 3 weeks ago. We see a lot of yellow flags coming in, coming out. This time it was Grimo, Mark Goodman, who spun in turn 12. And Vandenbroek, no, Mike Taylor not in a position to attack him anymore, but Pricey isn't either, and Vandenbroek is not too. So maybe the next attack coming from the Rockstar, Mirko Caruso. He is close to Tom Walsh. Caruso and Tom Walsh both had not really good qualifyings, therefore are running on mediums now. Both on the same strategy, so they will have to settle this battle on the track. Here we ride on the shoulder of Caruso, locking front left tire in this difficult turn 9, and now because of that he's a little bit too far away to attack Tom Walsh. The S zone is good enough to just make him close up to the pink racing point. Safety car! We have a safety car. Ryan Price is out! Ryan Price has crashed. Where he is? There he is. There he is. I think it happened to him what I talked about for the quali of David Lawson. I'm a bit confused. There's another crash. A crash in safety car. There it was. My goodness. And Caruso hit him. Wow. How can that happen? Mike Taylor has DNF'd under safety car. And Caruso touched him. Therefore he got a penalty. And Stefan Williams is out too. And Leclerc is out likewise. I am very confused right now, I got to admit. I cannot explain how or why multiple drivers crashed out in a safety car phase. So, let's get it sorted a bit. We see Thomas Walsh, Caruso and Leonard Cam in the lead now because Peter Simpson took a pit stop. Peter Simpson, likewise did Dominic Walsh in 5th now, and Rognian in 6th, and Ricky Kuau in 7th, Jarne Vandenbroek and Kantan. So the formerly top 5, all of them went into the pits on different tire strategies now. I admit right now, as we are in safety cars phase, I look up into our background chat and see if anything is going on there, but the channel is silent. So I expect this should mean that everything is going its way. Yeah, what a wild sequence there in lap 5. I will have to talk about that with our drivers afterwards to get an information what happened there. I think the crash of Ryan Price really caused the safety car phase. And then all of a sudden Mike Taylor crashed. Why? I have no idea. And the crazy thing, maybe the most craziest thing about it was that the Rockstar Mirko Caruso tagged the wrecked car of Mike Taylor. He tagged him just enough to get a penalty for that, because he touched him under safety car condition, but he touched him not hard enough so that his car isn't damaged. So that's really, really crazy. A wild scene there. And I have no idea, really no idea what happened to Stefan Williams and Achille Bandapelli. Leclerc, who is great too. I will post that question in our background chat. I hope that I can get some early information and yeah, so I posted a question. Let's see if or how fast our drivers will respond. Meanwhile, I think the safety car could or should be in this lap. Yes, there's the message. The lights are out. Bernd Mailänder will rest in the pits. So that means Thomas Walsh will lead and pace the field here in the last sector. And then all of a sudden will run away and try to surprise the Rockstar behind him. Let's watch it from onboard of Caruso. Now it is! Thomas Walsh pulls away and Caruso almost lost it on the acceleration, and therefore Thomas Walsh ahead is far away, but Lennart Kamp by the name of Stuart MacDonald, our only Scotsman, is right in the rear, and oh no, there's a big contact to Rocknean, and on the inside Simo slipped through, and what's happening to Lennart Kamp, losing a lot of positions here, and Rocknean is right next to Simo. Jack Rocknean, who wants to make up the gap to Simo. Now he has a chance to show it to us on the track. But Simo, on his pit stop, opted to go on softs. I did not quite understand that, but he did it. And Captain Infinity is out. Captain Infinity, that's Sam Clark. Sadly, Andrew Mont will not be able to depict it to us, because when he will reach the spot, the car will be vanished. Maybe already. There it is. There it was. There should be a car. On the other side. So the walls are far away, but still 5 of our drivers managed to find them. Okay, so back to the racing action. We see Tom Walsh, who is now ahead of Peter Simpson. Oh, we have a VSC. VSC now because of the DNF of Sam Clark. And meanwhile, Mike Taylor has answered my question, so he was distracted with sorting out strategy and then crashed into the rear of Jane van de Bril. That was the reason why his car was standing there wrecked on the back straight. So now we're back to green condition, and we see Peter Simpson haunting Thomas Walsh through the desert. And Simo, who's running on the fresh soft tire, should be a lot faster than Tom Walsh. So this is just a matter of time when he should be able to attack him. The question is, can the drivers behind him get into the action too? There's a lot of stuff going on. The field is very close now at the moment. We see this battle from the eyes of Dominic Walsh, who is side by side with Rognan, pushing ahead because he has the faster soft tire. And ahead is Caruso, Rognan behind. All of those guys are very close, and in the next lap the DRS will be activated very front. Tom Walsh defending his position against Simo. They all lose time. Rockstar maybe crashed into them, and all that brings into the action Dominic Walsh going sideways. 4 drivers into turn 1. And Peter Simpson is the first one to get out of the first combination, and there was a tag, there was a touch between the Walshes. Thomas Walsh lost a front wing end plate on the side of his brother's Alfa Romeo car. And therefore now Thomas Walsh in the racing point is vulnerable against attacks from behind from Jack Rognan, who is impatient to get over and away from him. Side by side you cannot go wheel to wheel into turn 9. Maybe the cutback inside from Rognan. DRS opened for the Ferrari. No chance for an attack yet, but that is just a question of time, I would like to say. And with every turn that Rognan must stay behind Thomas Walsh, the drivers ahead will run away from him. The gap will increase to the leaders. So Rognan cannot let Tom Walsh hold him up too long. Maybe now wheel to wheel into the last turn. And I hope Tom Walsh doesn't intend to go to the pit lane. And from nowhere comes Rockstar. Caruso overtaking 2 drivers at once. Better acceleration for the Swiss driver out of the last turn, and therefore jumped ahead of Rognan and Tom Walsh simultaneously. A lot of stuff going on here right now here in Bahrain. That is just the reason why the track is so popular with our fans and race drivers, because there's always a lot of action going on. And now Caruso is sitting in third, but already 3.7 seconds behind the drivers ahead. Simo and Dominic Walsh, who run away on the softer tire, but will need one more pit stop. Caruso is in a good position strategy-wise. Thomas Walsh is still defending. Oh, there was a Ferrari driver running wide in the background. Who was it? I don't know, didn't catch it, but we see, Kantan has front wing damage. Kantan lacks an end plate on his right hand side. That is not good for his car balance, for his tire wear. He needs another stop anyway, but still this hurts. And he now tries to get past his teammate Blake Gary, and Ricky Kuao was going sideways there. The second Renault here in the background. And now finally Kantan has pushed ahead of Blake Gary in the DRS zone. There's another big fighting group. Grimo here attacking Gary. No, he doesn't. And now is into the mercy of Ricky Kuao, maybe behind. Everyone allowed to open the DRS right here, so no advantage for anyone. It looks like Blake Gary is a little bit jumpy tonight. So maybe they're not not the best internet connection for Blake Gary here tonight. Yellow in sector 1. This was Andrew Mond, I think, who lost some time next to the track. And let's get back to the front row, because we have another driver, a different driver on the podium right now. Jack Rognan pushed ahead of Mikko Caruso. Caruso still inside the DRS window. I suppose that Caruso will try to make his tires last 1 or 2 more laps and then come into the pit lane for his one and only pit stop for Hartz. And he does not stop now. He's searching the slipstream. Have a look how much faster he is here on the straight. He just cruised by Rognan, backed up by DRS plus the overtake button. Will there be a counter? I doubt it. I think that Rognan is too far away. But maybe some attack coming up from the other Ferrari. Jarne van der Brill chasing Kantan. Kantan, who still is a little bit troubled with some less front wing downforce there. Especially in these turns, it's double hard to go through with a damaged front wing. Here's the view from the Belgium man. Next DRS zone should be opened. Yes, it is, but now he's too far away. Jarne van der Brill too far away to attack a damaged car of Kantan. And ahead, there's the next battle. It was the next DRS zone attack. Rognan versus Rockstar. Oh, a lot of block up on his front right tire, but the front right isn't the problem. The front left is the vulnerable spot on this track. And will Caruso pit this lap? Yes, he does. Let's stay with him for a moment. He will maybe serve his penalty right now. He has a +5, I think, from the last safety car phase. Yes, he does. This feels like eternity to stand there not being allowed to work on the car. Where will he be back on track? He loses a lot of positions back into 12th, but he will finish the race on this set of hearts. In my mind, the quickest strategy on this track, as long as safety car doesn't deliver other options, so he will finish the race now. And then let's see where he will stand in the end. So the +5 seconds penalty maybe costed him a few positions. So Jagger Rognan should be 5 seconds away from him then, as soon as Rognan did his final pit stop. Let's wait a few minutes and a few laps and see how all this will go down the wire then. So here's another battle. Nevis Ikic chasing Ricky Kuau, and ahead Grimo Goodman. Ikic already on 10 laps now on this set of hards. He will not be able to finish the race on it, so he needs another stop. But the drivers ahead do just likewise. Right here, everyone pulls away a little bit, just enough so that no one can attack the driver ahead. Grimo looks like he's a little bit in trouble there. And he is not in the DRS window to play Gary ahead anymore, and that will make him vulnerable against Ricky Kuau very soon. So maybe let's stay with these drivers here for the moment and let's have a look what's happening there. I suppose that Kantan... Grimo it was. Well, it was Chumpy, very, very wide. And I think he ran into the rear of... I think it was Blake Gary. Yes, Gary is Chumpy, and I suppose this was the reason why Grimo didn't really know where to go, and therefore ran into the rear of Blake Gary and hurt his nose while doing so, and that causes him to lose time here. Grimo, there you can see the left hand side end plate missing, wheel to wheel into the penultimate turn. Ikic going a bit wide there, but the track allows it, and has jumped ahead of Mark Goodman, who probably should pit now. and try to finish his race on mediums. Kantan ahead is already in the pits. Kantan, there he is. Let's stay with him for a moment and let's see what he will do. He is likely to get a new nose. Yes, there it is. And fresh mediums. A bit long, but possible on mediums to finish the race. Mikko Caruso, his real life friend, already ahead of Kantan again. Oh, there he is. There's Leonard Cam. There was the McLaren wheel to wheel out of the pit lane. Both DRS equipped. No, only the Scotsman. And Leonard Cam is on fresh hearts. So Stuart McDonald will finish the race on this set of tire. Means that K-Delay, Kantan, needs to settle this on the track. He needs to overtake. He cannot wait for another pit stop for Leonard Cam. But you can see, visibly see that Kantan is really faster than the McLaren ahead. Yellow in sector 2. That's right here actually, so he cannot overtake. He is not allowed to overtake. Dominic Walsh in the pits. Ooh, very close there, wheel to wheel into the turn 13. Wow, that was close, that was close. Kantan is impatient, he doesn't want to wait for the next DRS zone. Overtakes Leonard Cam here already. Better acceleration now for the Scotsman, and maybe DRS opened. Yes, DRS is open for Leonard Cam because Kantan was too impatient. He didn't wait, and therefore Leonard Cam was granted the DRS activation when they ran over the detection mark. And now Kantan has to wait another lap. And while this is happening, just a little bit ahead, a few positions, we see this threesome. Blake Gary, Nevis Ikic and Ricky Kuau battling for P4. But all of them are still in need of a pit stop. So it's a cool battle going on, but not the final position battle for those three boys. We always see Mercyman checking in, checking out, sadly. And Peter Simpson, the leader, is in the pits. I suppose he will finish the race on a set of medium, and two of these three boys go into the pits. That is Blake Gary and Ricky Kuau ahead. Peter Simpson is about to leave the pit lane already. We saw a short yellow in sector 3, it already vanished. And Simpson is in fourth. The drivers ahead are still in need of a pit stop, so he is virtually still the leader. What is going on for Caruso? Chasing Blake Gary here in the next DRS zone. And wheel to wheel into turn 4. Gary defends himself. They are on their each final set of tire, so both need to get this settled right here. Caruso, if he wants to crawl up against the drivers he was fighting before, needs to just get ahead of Blake Gary. But you can see Gary is and stays a bit chumpy. And Kantan is close too. Kantan is close too. The Mercedes of Rockstar in the Williams sandwich. And there the sandwich is gone. Because Kantan with a faster tire just jumped ahead over Caruso. And the two Williams collide. The two Williams collide. Oh no, and Kantan is, not out of the race, but And and what else is going on? Mercy Man crashed, and Lawson is out. Safety car crash between the Red Bulls. What is going on here? I suppose that the two Red Bulls collided when trying to avoid the back on track coming Kantan, and that caused another safety car phase. Oh, not a good day for our host David Lawson. So, who will be in favor now of this phase, of this safety car phase? We see Jack Rocknan, he's in the lead. Both the Ferrari 1-2. Rocknan ahead of Jane van der Bril. And both still need a pit stop, likewise to Nevis Ikic. All of those top 3 runners still need a pit stop. They will come into the pits right now. They will then... they will not be ahead of Simo. Simo will be the leader again. But, the big but, those 3, that both the Ferraris plus Ikic will stop for softs now. And then, when the restart... when we'll see the restart, those drivers will be on the faster tire than Simo and maybe can overtake him then. So, Rocknan, fresh softs. Van der Bril had to wait a bit because his teammate was in right before him, but still, fresh softs. Nevis Ikic, fresh softs. Simo is through, okay, but that doesn't mean a thing. The field will be packed up behind the safety car then again. Dominic Walsh will he be second? No, Rocknan is ahead. In the safety car phase you have to run slow, and Dominic Walsh needed to run so slow that Rocknan slipped through. So, Simo in the lead, then Jack Rocknan, Dominic Walsh in third, Tom Walsh, his brother, right behind him in fourth, but on bad tires. Already used hards. He will be chewed up by Jarne van der Bril on fresh softs. Nevis Ikic? Fresh mediums. I don't understand why he opted for mediums. Maybe he didn't have a fresh set of softs anymore. Looks like the only possible... the only possibility to me. 7th, Blake Gary. Some good points for him possible. Ricky Kuao, Leonard came in 9. Caruso, only P10. He was further ahead. I can only imagine that he was actually through on his pit stop. Pit stop strategy. I can only imagine he thought he would not be competitive on his hards. That's why he stopped again. Kantan. Disappointing race for him. Disappointing race, as he is sitting in second of our overall standings. He cannot live up to the expectations of the number 1 rival of Peter Simpson, who is leading once again. Then Martin Ward, Andrew Mond, and Mark Goodman. Quite a lot DNFs for this race. And just like last year, just like in the last season, we have a late safety car phase that packs the field together. Last season, the surprise winner, Stephen Hodgetts in the Ferrari, second Ferrari, teammate of Simo to that time. Scuba, his nickname, very, very sympathetic boy, missed heavily now in this second season. Cannot race with us anymore due to job commitments, sadly. I know how much he celebrated his first victory to that time. His parents watched the race and he won it. And he was very, very happy and delighted after it. And he posted a bit of sad words today because of the fact that we will search for some different winner than he was. And right now it looks like it would be Simo, his formerly teammate. But both the Ferraris are in a very good shape. So again, Rocknan versus Simpson. I mentioned it already in the qualifying. I talked to Jack Rocknan and he told me he wants to close the gap. He wants to challenge Simo as he feels like he's on the upwind. And he could not quite do it in the quali. He was close to do it in the qualifying. And now for the final, what would it be? No, we will see another lap of safety car. Then we will have, I think, 8 laps remaining then of green condition. 8 laps, 2 of them without, 6 laps with DRS. That he can maybe show us right that he can challenge the Renault ahead. We will see. We will find out. The big showdown in the last third of this race. Second question will be, what's gonna happen to the Walshes, the Walsh bros, sitting in P3 and 4. That's not bad for them, but they are on the slower tire compared to Van de Brill and Ekic behind. So the podium, will it be with or without the Walsh? That is the second big question that we will see answered in the next 8 laps. And then we see some soft runners behind. That's Leonard Cam, Stuart McDonald, and the Rockstar by the name of Mikko Caruso. Those 2 drivers on the fresh softs should be faster than the drivers ahead and therefore should catch up and overtake them. Maybe 2. Should. See one penalty that has been handed out, that is against Kantan, +5 for, I suppose that he tagged someone during a safety car phase. So even though he might make up a few positions and get it into the points, that will probably kill his chances for points then eventually. And the safety car is in this lap. Peter Simpson will pace the field here in the last sector. Safety car driven by Bernd Mailänder just drives ahead and will park in the pit lane. Peter Simpson's warming up his tires and all of a sudden he will run away. He maybe did it already. Kantan, another penalty. And Caruso and Kantan touched each other on the safety car and therefore both got the +5 seconds. That's not good. And in the lead, Peter Simpson tries to pull away. He was not attacked by Rocknan, but really a pull away wasn't too. And Rocknan already very close after the 3rd turn. Rocknan on his fastest soft tire, wheel to wheel after just 4 turns. Rocknan is faster. Rocknan looks a lot faster on the tire. Jack Rocknan has the nickname of Torpedo Jack. You can imagine why. He should not do that now. He should not torpedo into the Renault. He should just be patient. He needs to wait 2 laps and then DRS will be activated and then he should be able to just cruise by the Renault ahead. And in the positions behind, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of ups and downs. Leonard Cam on his softs already jumped ahead of Nevis Ekic. That was rather quickly, and behind we see Kantan pushing against Ekic. Already in his gearbox, almost. Battle for points here. 2 points at stake in this battle, but we know Kantan does have some penalty seconds on his account. Late attack here in the front. There's a lot of going on too. Leonard Cam going sideways, crashes into the wall and just goes into the pits because Blake Gary crashes too. My goodness, and therefore Ekic touched the wall. Oh my goodness, a lot of carbon salad here on the main straight. Nevis Ekic is almost not having a front wing anymore. What happened to Blake Gary? Gary's still sitting in 6, causing some havoc, but still sitting in his position where he was. Ekic is low. Ekic will be down and out of the points. And Blake Gary has even overtaken Caruso. Blake Gary causes so much troubles, but is ahead of Caruso now. I have no idea how that happened. We see you now in Sector 2, no, already gone. And now let's have a look back into the battle for the lead. Seymour looked like he could pull away a little bit again. DRS will be activated in the next lap. So Semixna Rognan needs to stay within the 1 second gap until next lap, and then he will be granted to activate the DRS. Let's have a look what's going on in the positions behind. Dominic Walsh still on the podium. Jane van der Brugge in 4th. So both the Ferrari crawling up a lot of positions. Thomas Walsh, the loser of the restart. He and of course those who had some troubles out of the Blake Gary action, I would like to call it that way. And was there? Yes, I saw it correctly. There's damage to the front wing of Caruso. Another one who tagged the rear of the jumpy Blake Gary. That's really strong. No, I don't speak it out. That is really sad, because Blake Gary is having himself quite a good race, but he is so jumpy. It's just about his internet connection that causes some troubles here, and now Caruso is slow as he has limited downforce on his front wing. With one eye, I watch the gap between Seymour and Semixna in the lead, but for the moment let's stay here because the action's going on right here in the midfield. Scrimo attacking Ricky Kuao, maybe both DRS equipped. Rockstar ahead. Kantan, by the way, down to P12 plus some penalty seconds, so the race is actually finished for Ricky Kuao. Strange line, wide line there for Grimo, and behind him is his teammate Andrew Mont, who had so big troubles here in this race but was able to crawl up into P10. That would mean he would get a point in this race. And ahead, Rockstar with his troubled aerodynamics is swallowed up by his real-life friend Ricky Kuao. Maybe now the counter-attack into turn 1? No. And now Rockstar will be attacked by Grimo. All of them DRS equipped, even for the killer. Cut back inside from Grimo, but did not work in this situation. Ahead, still Simo leading over Rognan, and maybe now Grimo against Rockstar. No. But you can visibly see how the Rockstar is struggling. He's losing gap to the killer ahead. No battle going on anymore here. They are close, but not enough to attack. I would like to suppose that the Alpha Tauri of Grimo is still in the best situation to attack Rockstar ahead. Behind, that was Andrew Mont, finding one of the very few gravel pits here on this track. It looks like it would just be a question of time until Grimo Goodman can attack the Swiss driver ahead. But as long as Caruso is still in DRS range, that's hard, and Caruso is out of DRS range, and then it happened. Grimo ahead of the Mercedes. And meanwhile, Ricky Kuao in the second Renault jumped ahead of Blake Gary here. He dared to attack him. The Jumpy Williams, who caused so much of front wing damage in the last few laps. Ricky Kuao with braking troubles, almost came a little bit too close to the rear to Tom Walsh. Yeah, and now behind Andrew Mont has overtaken Caruso too, so the front wing damage for Caruso is really a lot, and he cannot drive his Mercedes car competitively. We were now on board at guest when we saw the jump of Blake Gary. You can imagine how unpleasant that is for a driver behind, because you never know, can I attack, can I not, where will he jump to next? And ahead, maybe the next attack from Ricky Kuao against Tom Walsh, who's trying to get over the race on his old set of hards. And in the lead there was no attack from the Rockner Ferrari against the Simo Renault. Just another demonstration of strength from Simo to survive, to stay in the lead, although he is on the slower tire. Now it does not look like as if Ricky Kuao could be able to attack. Always here in turn 5. No, this turn 7. He is very close to the Walsh, to the Racing Point Walsh. But as soon as it's out on the straight, the Racing Point is very fast enough to... Here you can see Kuao cannot even get a lot closer, although he is DRS equipped. So if D-Killer is closing up in the turns but cannot overtake on the straights, that means that the Renault is driving with a lot more downforce than the Racing Point ahead. Therefore he is fast in the turns but slow on the straights, and we are in the last lap. Last lap of this race. I almost don't want the race to end, as we had so much of racing action. Now it looks like Kuao would be a little bit closer, but Walsh has DRS too, because he's close enough to Jan van der Brill. Late on the brake here for Ricky Kuao. Now in the better lane to accelerate, and now. No, he did not do it. He did not do it again. This was maybe his last chance. Let's stay with him for a moment. Blake Gary is out. Oh my goodness, Blake Gary has crashed. And Caruso did so too. Caruso digging out of the non-existing gravel pit, because probably he crashed with Blake Gary. Oh. Blake Gary caused really a lot of troubles, but stayed with us so long, and in the end sadly cannot finish the race. I hope that we will get some post-race footage of that situation from Caruso. We are in the last lap. We are actually on the second last straight, and Peter Simpson, it wasn't comfortable. He had to fight for it, especially in the end, but he did it again. He has done it again. 6th race that he finishes in this season, and this is race win number 6 for Peter Simpson. Congratulations to the Renault. The overall leader increases his gap, and in second Jack Rocknian, Ferrari 2 and 4. I'm sorry, 2 and 4. Jack Rocknian Semixna steps onto the podium as second, who was almost, but just almost, able to challenge Simo. In third, the final man on the podium, then Dominic Walsh, our reigning champion, while we see the fireworks in the Bahrain night sky. Driver of the day is called Thomas Walsh. And here's our virtual podium. Renault, Ferrari, Alfa Romeo. Very unlikely in the real life, but you never know. And the virtual champagne for the virtual engineers underwards the balcony. So here is our final result after penalties. Peter Simpson has won it ahead of Jagger Rognian and Dominic Walsh. In fourth, Jarne Vanderbril coming up a lot of positions, just a little bit short of the podium. In fifth, good race, especially good end for Ricky Kuau in 5. P6, Thomas Walsh. P7, Mark Grimmo Goodman. P8, Andrew Mont. P9, Katan. At least 2 points for him. In 10, Mikko Caruso. 11, Martin Ward. P12, Stuart McDonald. P13, Blake Gary. P14, Nevis Ekic. And not finished, that is David Lawson, Sam Clark, Leclerc, I still got to look up the name, Mike Taylor, Stephen Williams, and Ryan Price. So, and with these pictures, we say goodbye to Bahrain. And yeah, I have to look up the race calendar right now. Yeah, next Wednesday, April the 28th, we will then head to Zandvoort in the Netherlands. Totally different track. And yeah, the race events always start at 7:30 p.m. of UK time, 8:30 p.m. continental. The stream goes online around about 10 minutes earlier. If you want to be notified, hit the subscribe button and you will get the notification of YouTube. I would be very glad if you'd be with us then again on next Wednesday. I am Sepp Bauer, was very glad you joined us here tonight and would be just as happy if you would be with us next week again. Until then, have a good week, have a nice weekend, stay safe in these times, and keep racing.